and I want to use that to add some information to another group, B20, of my cost plan. You can see that here. So the doors and windows, as well as the brickwork that I have there. Now let's go back to plan cost, again to number 5, and start using that information in our level or 4th iteration. I want to do that differently. I'm creating a custom layout now to show the full integration. I'm using Mini-Tom in one of the views. I want to see the 3D view and another view that's loading. And in the bottom view, I would like to have the cost planner. You can already see highlighted in the Mini-Tom what is being used at the moment as soon as I select a line item in the cost planner. And when I click on the brick, I see this formula was used, so that means those takeoff items. Let's scroll to them for a minute. Those takeoff items were used, visible in the takeoff manager view, and they're also visible in the 3D view. So every time I select something in one of the views, it's highlighted in the other ones. That's how we achieve the full integration between the aspects. Same thing for external windows. So let's take a look. You can see them in the bottom in the 3D view. And we'll spin the model around to see if all the scope is covered, and I'm sure that everything is included in my cost plan. Also look at the items that we assigned earlier with in the foundation structure. When we worked on that, let's pick the foundation, and you see immediately all the elements that are part of that group are highlighted. And what's visible here is that I missed some scope. I missed some of the takeoff items that I have. You see there's some openings there. And when I expand, I can see the quantities that I have available. Clicking through these items to highlight them separately. I'm now saving a version of this one as well, the 3rd iteration, the last one that we're creating for this demonstration. We'll call that the 10%, well, let's call it 5% element-based model or estimate, and save that so that's available for comparison as well. Now we go into explore cost, and the first status that we had was 99% of the cost was used. Remember the cost allocation came out at $49,650,000. You can see that in here. So that's the sum of the program level allocations that I put in. Now I want to look at how that compares to the building shell cost calculation. So I'm activating that in my assembly component cost explorer view. I'm activating that, and that loads the data of that snapshot of the project. And I can see that I made a jump from 99% to 105%. So I want to know what happened. To do that, I expand the project node, and I get a color-coded structure. Substructure is fine. It's green. It's at 100%. Shell is at 103, a brisk. And the interior is at 122. That's red. So I want to take a look at that. To do that, I select the node, and Cost Explorer populates the line items in the cost planner view, and I can see which items were responsible for that point. It was 12, now it's 14.5, and there's a variance. All the way at the bottom is a blue item. It's at 59% of the previous allocation. That is a risk too, because probably I missed scope, so that's why it's blue. It indicates that I missed something. It was 150,000. Now it's at 87, so that's much lower. There's a variance of 62,000. Probably I missed something there. Now these colors are all predefined, the blue, yellow, green, and red, but you can adjust them with range settings. So I can modify when those colors appear. So I can change that to, say, 115 when I want to be notified about a too high situation. I save that, and from now on that will be used. Let's add another version now to our comparison. We'll add version 2, and that is the zone-based model in which we refine the interiors. Click outside to activate it. And you can see that again we made a jump from 105 to 109%. And I'm expanding again and trying to find out using this graphical interface where the differences are. Not too much change, but of course the interiors there is a change. 122 to 140 and over budget. I'm expanding that node. And there's only a circle because this part only exists in this version. And there's the line items below them, and I see that something went wrong with hospitality. 942, something must be wrong that I entered there. Let's take a closer look at that one. Opening the cost information associated with C30, and there we go, there's the list. And we see hospitality, there's a difference of 2.5 million. And that is either caused by a too low number initially or too high number in the second number, or in the second version. Let's go to the third version that we had in this exercise and activate that. And that is loading. So this is the element-based cost plan that we have in the system. And we're made a smaller jump, still at risk, to 110%. See where the differences are, and we worked on the substructure, and that's why there's a difference there, going from 100 to 107. And you can see as my estimate or my cost plan evolves, there's more and more bubbles that I see. Circles are only available in the last version. You can see how many sub-items are added in this cost plan. Footing is at risk, and there's something that is too low here, so probably I need, again, to pay some attention there. Let's see, there's 0% here, 71%, which is, again, too low, and this seems to be close, but we do want to check out what the reason for that difference is. So we'll select that to see the cost items associated with it. And we can now see that the labor is 0, so for some reason that got zeroed out, so that's why that is way too low, and that's why I have that number that I see. That's why I have the blue color. What we can do at this point is let's pick the A10 foundation group, which is at risk, as we learned. Populates all the line items associated with it. Collapse that a little bit to get a good overview of what's included there. You can see how it changed going from assembly to component to more detailed information. We can take a look at the 3D view. So I selected the foundation structure, which means that the foundation elements are now loaded in the 3D view. So again, a way to make sure that everything you want to include in that cost group is included through cost items and linked to the model where possible using the takeoff items. The visual feedback for the project team, where is cost coming from, making sure that all the scope is covered. Let's go back to the Cost Explorer for one last time and go to the comparison against the target. The target, which was slightly modified since the beginning. But now I can show the cost status against the target as a second comparison mode. So what we looked at so far is assemblies to components, which is defining I'm selecting a target here, which is comparing it against the next level of detail. Now I'm comparing it to an explicit definition of the budget. So the currently selected cost plans are compared, and budget-wise I'm still okay. The goals evolving the cost plan were not met completely. The allocations were not completely 100% accurate. But for the budget towards the owner, I'm still fine. And there's even too little that's spent with the interior finishes, as indicated, as you can see by the blue color. So with that, I've come to the end of my part of the demonstration today. I'd like to learn your feedback and let us know what you think of the cost planning methodology.